Good day, everyone. So, for today, we are going to discuss the Correctional Administration Institutional Correction. So, this is the introduction for the subject CA 100, which is institutional correction. Now, we'll start with the definition of correction. So, when we say correction, class, that it is that branch of the administration of criminal justice system, so charged with the responsibility for the custody, supervision, and rehabilitation of the convicted offender. So, ibig sabihin, class, na those who are already been convicted, diba, mga offenders that have already been convicted, so, diba, the responsibility in terms of their custody, kung asan sila ilagay, how are they being supervised, paano sila i-supervise, as well as the rehabilitation of those convicted offender, the responsibility lies in this branch, diba, which is the correction. Now, this is a generic term that includes all government agencies, facilities, program, procedure, personnel, and techniques concerned with investigation, intake, custody, confinement, supervision, or treatment of alleged offenders. So, ibig sabihin, class, that, diba, this will involve a lot. Let's say, for example, diba, the government agencies, so they are part of this what we call correction. And as well as, diba, aside from what has been mentioned, na custody, responsible for the custody, supervision, rehabilitation, but also, as you can see, diba, it also talks about confinement, kung asa sila i-confine, asa sila ibutang, diba? And of course, the treatment, which is what we also call as rehabilitation. Now, when we talk about naman the correctional administration, that is the study and practice of a system management of jails or prisons and other institutions concerned with the custody, treatment, and rehabilitation of criminal offenders. Kasi nga, di ba, going back here, ibig sabihin ng correction, sa kanila dyan ilalagay ang custody, sila ang magsusupervise. So now, what we call the system management, di ba, how we manage that system, di ba, that kind of system on how we manage this, di ba, itong mga convicted offenders, diba, or the criminal offenders. So, that system that we call, diba, the system management, that is what we call correctional administration. How we are, diba, how we administer this, what we call kaning responsibility of the correction. So, ibig sabihin, diba, that system that they follow, diba, how they manage the jails or prisons and other institutions, that is what we call correctional administration. Ayan. Now, when we talk about penology, so it came from the Greek words poin, which means punishment, and logos, which means course or study of crime prevention, prison, reformatory, management, and correction of criminals. So, ibig sabihin, class, this penology is also the branch of criminology which deals with the management and administration of inmates. So, ibig sabihin yung mga, when we talk about inmates, sila yung mga nasa presohan, yung taong mga nasa prisohan, di ba? Or andoon sa jail, di ba? So they are deprived of liberty against their will. Sila yung mga prisoners, di ba, that who are in jails or in prison. So this is otherwise known as penal science, yung penology. So study of punishment, form, crime, or of criminal offenders, which includes the study of control and prevention of crime through punishment of criminal offenders for those who have committed such crimes or mga criminal acts. Now, when we talk about penal management, this refers to the manner or practice of managing or controlling places of confinement as jails or prison. So that is how we, diba, the practice or the manner how we manage them and control. So, diba, going back here, doon sa correction, diba, they are the branch which is responsible for the custody and supervision and rehabilitation. So, when we talk about penal management, that is our manner, diba, how we, yung practice natin, diba, how we manage and control those places kung saan natin i-rehabilitate, kung saan natin ilalagay sa custody natin, yung ilalagay nila sa custody nila, yung mga criminal offenders or those mga convicted na offenders. Now, class, we have here what we call punishment. So the redress that the state against an offending member, it is inflicted by the group and its corporate upon who one is regarded as a member of the same group. It involves pain or suffering produced by design and justified by some value that the suffering is assumed to have. So, ibig sabihin, when we talk about punishment, that is the redress. Diba? Ibig sabihin, yan yung parusa. Diba? For example, if you commit something, diba, there is an equivalent punishment or infliction. Diba? It could either be imposition of a penalty, infliction, diba? There are a lot of kinds of punishment before and up present, which really varies. Yung punishment noon at saka punishment ngayon, they already differ. Diba? May difference na siya. So, it could be a rough treatment, but the definition class of punishment, that is the redress that the state against an offending member. Doon sa di ba, yung the one who have offended a certain person. Di ba? A remedy, di ba, to address that undesirable or that criminal act. Now, we have here, it is also a means of social control device to cause people to become cohesive and to induce conformity so that they will be able to follow, di ba? Especially if there are set na mga, di ba, social norms. So they will be able to conform to those, or they will be able to follow those kaning mga social norms in what we call social norms in the community, di ba? Then the general concept of punishment is that it is infliction of some sort of pain on the offender for violating the law. So, ibig sabihin, there is infliction of pain. Diba? You will experience pain. Diba? Masakitan ka. That form of punishment. In the legal sense, it is more individual redress or personal revenge. So, ibig sabihin, diba, your own, it could either be a personal, diba, a personal remedy or how you are going to set things right, di ba? Especially, or a personal revenge, especially to those people nga nakasala sa imuha or has committed a certain crime or criminal act or undesirable ba na siya na action towards sa imuha. Now, we have here penalty, that is the suffering that is inflicted by the state for the transgression of the law. So, di ba, what do we mean about transgression of the law? So, ibig sabihin, that is, di ba, an act committed by an individual or a person or a group of people that goes against a law, rule, or code of conduct that is an offense, diba? Transgression of the law. You have violated, diba? You have committed something which is against the law. So that is what we call penalty. Now here, class, let's talk about the historical perspective on correction. So let's start off with the 13th century securing sanctuary. So in the 13th century, a criminal could avoid punishment. Diba? We have already discussed nga if a person has, diba, or has offended an individual or a group of people or a certain kaning person in the society, there are kanang murag equivalent na mga punishment or penalty. For example, if it is a punishment naman, class, diba? So they can be able, in the 13th century, they can avoid it by claiming refugee in a church for a period of 40 days, at the end of which time has compelled to leave the realm by a road or path assigned to him. So, ibig sabihin yan, class, diba? Once a criminal, diba? Para sila maka-avoid, pupunta sila sa church. They are going to seek refuge. Doon sila pupunta sa, diba? Doon sila pupunta sa church for a period of 40 days. Doon sila magtatago or doon sila mag-stay. So then at the end of that 40 days, they will be compelled to leave. So they are, tawag nito, diba? They will be compelled or they will be papaalisin sila doon, diba? So ibig sabihin yan is that they will be forced or they will be obliged to leave the realm by a road or path assigned to him. Kung ano yung naka-assign sa kanila. So, ibig sabihin nun, di ba, they will stay in the church for 40 days and after that, aalis na sila doon. They will be forced or obliged to leave that realm by a road or path assigned to them. On the 16th century naman, transportation of criminals in England was authorized. So, ibig sabihin, if you are a criminal, Di ba? From England, you will be transported. Ililipat ka. Di ba? Sa ibang lugar. At the end of the 16th century, Russia and other European countries followed this system. So it partially relieved overcrowding of prisons. Transportation was abandoned in 1826. So ibig sabihin yan, class, na let's say, for example, you are staying in England. So once you have committed as a form of punishment, you will be transported to a different na place. Diba? Hindi ka dyan magsistay sa lugar ng England or that country. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, you will be transported to a different place. Now, in the 17th century to late 18th century, death penalty became prevalent as a form of punishment. So, ibig sabihin, which is now, diba, especially in the Philippines, death penalty is no longer a form of punishment. But before, in our history, diba, in 17th century to late 18th century, death penalty is something that you can, diba, kanang makita yun mo siya, existing yun siya as a form of punishment. Next, we have the jails, pre-trial detention facilities operated by English Sherin. So, ibig sabihin yan, class, diba, even now, diba, we have this what we call jails. So, nasa, it is a place, diba, of confinement, kung asa nato ibutang, diba, i-confine, ikulong nato ang mga convicted offenders, mga criminal offenders. Now, we have these galleys. So, that is a long, low, narrow, single-deck ships propelled by sails, usually rowed by criminals, a type of ship used for transportation of criminals in the 16th century. So, these galleys is what we call ship. Diba? Long, low, narrow, single-deck ship. So, mga, dili sa bangka, mga ship siya or mga barko siya class. Diba nga, usually, ang naga-row diraa or kanang nagasagwan anak niya is the criminals. Wherein, diba, going back in the 16th century, let's say 17th century to late 18th, that is the mode of transportation. Or diba, their mode of transporting those criminals. Diba, this is what we call transportation of criminals. Muna siya ang gigamit so that they will be, they can transport that criminal from a certain country to another country. So, kana siya nga ship is what we call galleys. Now, we have here an ancient form of punishment. So, we have death penalty, physical torture, social degradation, and banishment. So, now, let's talk about death penalty. So, this was effected by burning, boiling in oil, breaking at the wheel, drowning, hanging, and the likes. So, ibig sabihin, class, when we talk about death penalty, diba, the penalty there is death. Diba, you will end up na mamatay. Diba, you will end up dead. So, that is what we call, it could either be in this form. You will be burned to death, you will be boiled in an oil to death, you will be, yung sa breaking at the wheel, you will be drowned to death as well as will be hanged to death. So those are the forms, diba, of kaning executing death penalty. Now, we have this what we call physical torture. So when we talk about physical torture, you will not end up, diba, being dead or dili ka mamatay, ana, but this was so-called corporal punishment. The same goes with death penalty, diba, which was affected by mutilation, maiming, whipping. So, ibig sabihin, there is a physical torture or there is a physical pain. Diba? There is a prolonging of pain that will happen to you physically. Now, social degradation, the purpose of this was to put the offender to shame or humiliation, pakaulawan ka in front of the society or a lot of people or in front of the crowd. This was affected by branding, use of docking stools, stocks, or pillory. So, there is still what we call, diba, kaning, naga po siya pain or physical, naga po siya part of physical torture. But the purpose of it is about you being degraded in front of the public. Diba? For you to become, for you to be, shamed in front of the many people, to be humiliated. So, basically, class, the social degradation, the purpose of this is to degrade you. Diba? In front of many people. So, it could either be in the form of, let's say, maiming, yan siya, diba? Or it could either be mutilation, or let's say, if you are familiar, if you have seen yung mga old na movies already, yung ilalagay yung, for example, ilalagay yung ulo, diba? There is holes in that certain framework, yung kahoy, dyan, ilagay siya yung ulo niya. So, that is what we call pillory. So, ibig sabihin yan, diba? That is also a form of humiliation or shaming you in front of many people. And lastly, we have here what we call banishment. So this is the sending or putting away of an offender which was carried out either by a prohibition against coming into a specified territory or a prohibition against going outside a specified territory, such as an island to where the offender has been removed. So once you have this punishment na banishment, so what's going to happen is that it could either be you will be prohibited. Let's say, for example, here in the Philippines, once you were banished, diba? Banishment is your kaning punishment. What's going to happen is that you will be prohibited from coming here in the Philippines. Or let's say let's say dito sa Mati, or let's say dyan sa Mati, diba? Once you're banished dyan sa Mati because you have committed a certain crime, so you will be prohibited. Bawal ka pumunta sa Mati. Or it could either be going outside a specified territory. So once you were, diba, displaced ka, you have committed a criminal act, and then your punishment is banishment. Then another one form of it is that if you are, let's say, nilagay ka sa isang island, nilagay ka sa, ano ba yan siya, let's say sa island dyan, di ba, yung parang maliit na island in the, anywhere in Mati, or let's say, in a certain place in Mati. So, once you are prohibited na, or let's say, for example, na banish ka, so ibig sabihin nun, one of example of that is bawal kang lumabas sa specified na territory. Let's say, nakakommit ka ng crime sa Mati, and then you were you were transported doon sa Lupon, let's say, for example, di ba? So, ibig sabihin that when you are going to stay in Lupon and you are not allowed to go outside of that specified na territory ng Lupon, so you're going to stay there. Yun siya. But normally, in the history class, normally ginalagayan sila sa island. Sa island normally sila. So, they are going to be placed in an island and they are not allowed to go outside of that island or of that specified na territory. And the other one is that yung coming, bawal kang pumunta doon sa isang specified and bawal kang lumabas. That is the two forms or two forms of banishment. Now, there is two distinct benefits of banishment. Diba? Once it is your, what do you call this, once it is that, once yan yung form of punishment. Number one, it allowed the transporting country to colonize distant lands such as Australia, Canada, America, and all other far-flung colonies. So there will be colonization that's going to happen. They are going to colonize it. So ibig sabihin nun, class, diba, they are going to, diba, sasakupin nila ang isang lugar, which is far from their place or from that certain country. So pupunta na sila sa ibang country and they're going to colonize it. Diba? Especially yung mga malalayo na lugar. The second is, it reduced number of criminals and the concomitant reduction of criminality in the country of origin. Kasi nga, diba, once you give a punishment of banishment, diba, diba, the other one is, you are going to transport them, diba? You are going to prohibit them from a specified territory. So, ibig sabihin, there will be a reduced in terms of number of criminals. Kasi wala naman sila doon. You are not allowing them na pumunta doon sa inyong country. Or it could either be, you are going to, what you call this, to ikulong nyo sila sa isang lugar. So, it means that hindi na sila makakapunta din doon sa country where they have committed a criminal act. So, ibig sabihin, there will be a reduced number of criminals and reduction in terms of criminality kasi they can no longer commit again the same crime or any crime because they are already prohibited from coming or from going out of that specified territory where kung saan sila na-banished. Aside from banishment and hard labor, offenders are also sentenced to provide hard labor for Spaniards, also including the building of military fortifications. And as a result of these developments, Spaniards also built fortifications in the Philippines, and that includes Fort Santiago in Manila and Fort del Pilar in Zamboanga. So now, class, diba, I guess you have seen or it has been discussed in your history, diba, during high school, diba, tong Fort Santiago at saka yung Fort del Pilar. So normally, class, aside from banishment, diba, normally, we have this what we call hard labor. So if you have noticed, there are those na mga kanang nakakommit of crimes, mga criminal offenders, or let's say, katong mga people, diba, nakakommit of crimes. So what they do is that they are given this task, diba, kada mag-hard labor sila. It could either be mag-build sila of wall, mag-build sila o kaning structure, diba? So that, kasi when we call this fortification, that is a defensive wall or other reinforcement built to strengthen a place against attack. So, ibig sabihin, di ba, you're going to build a wall. Makita na ba ka morag mga bato. So, normally, ang mga nag-build, are those mga criminals. Diba? Aside from banishment, they will also do hard labor. Ilahan ng i-build ang kanang mga wall. Di ba? Makita ninyo before na ay mga criminals na maghakot sila o mga bato, though that they are going to build a certain wall against, or it is some type of defense against mga enemies. Yun siya. So aside from banishment, there is what we call hard labor. Now, class, if there is what we call ancient form of punishment, you also have this what we call contemporary forms of punishment. When we say contemporary, yung bago, diba, new forms of punishment. So, number 1, we have imprisonment, parole, and probation. So, imprisonment, that is putting offenders in a prison for the purpose of protecting the public, at the same time, rehabilitating them by undergoing institutional treatment programs. So, ibig sabihin, imprisonment, they will be put behind bars. Diba? Ipriso sila. So, and that in that way as well, or at the same time, they will be rehabilitated. Diba? So, they will undergo institutional. When we say institutional, it is, diba, in a form, they will be put in an institution. Diba? Naa sila sa isa ka lugar, let's say, isa po sa jail, diba, sa prison. So, that is a form of imprisonment. Now, when we talk about parole, it is defined as a procedure by which prisoners are selected for release on the basis of individual response and progress within the correctional institution, and a service by which they are provided with necessary guidance as they serve the remainder of their sentence in the free community. Ibig sabihin yan, class, when we talk about parole, diba, once you have been, let's say, tawag nito, like, inside the prison, diba, or inside a jail, diba, if you were able, diba, you have been doing good inside the prison, you were following whatever the rules, the policies, diba, once you are in custody doon sa prison, so now you will be given, diba, the opportunity to serve the remainder. Let's say, for example, ilang years ka pa meron for sa yung sentence. If you have been sentenced 3 to 5 years, and then for, let's say, for almost 1 year, 2 years, or let's say 3 years, you have been doing good, diba? You have a good conduct inside the prison. So what's going to happen is that, diba, you will be given this parole, diba, a temporary release, so that you will be, pero doon mo na i-complete, diba, the remainder of your sentence will be completed doon sa community, kasi they have observed. But of course, there are requirements before it will be given, or before a certain prisoner will be given parole, diba? One of that is really to have good conduct, diba? Wala kang ginawang masama inside sa prison while you were imprisoned. Ayun siya. Next is that we have probation. So it is a procedure under which a defendant found guilty of a crime is released by the court without imprisonment, subject to the condition imposed by the court and subject to the supervision of the probation officer. So ibig sabihin, class, diba? If you have been found guilty, so you will not be imprisoned. Hindi ka makukulong. However, there will be conditions that will be imposed by the court that you need to follow. Andoon ka sa labas, you are in the community, and you will be subjected. You have this what we call probation officer. You will be under, or you will be watched by a probation officer, wherein you are going to report to him as well. Ayun. But still, when you are under probation, you should not commit any wrongdoings or any criminal acts or any mga illegal acts. Diba? Compared to parole, you have already served a certain sentence, diba? Or years, diba, a certain length of your sentence. However, since they have seen you na maganda yung maganda ka naman, yung when you stay doon sa, when you were in prison, diba, doon ka sa prisohan, wala ka naman ginawang masama, diba, mabait ka naman doon, you're doing good conduct inside that. So what's going to happen is that once they were able to see, diba, na ganun ang tawag nito, yung stay mo, diba, while you were in prison. So what's going to happen is that, diba, you will be given a parole. However, itong parole and probation, we are going to discuss it further doon naman sa non-institutional. Ito sila. So, we're going to discuss further about this one doon sa non-institutional. Or, along in our discussion class, we are going to differentiate parole and probation. But this is just an introduction about what are those contemporary forms of punishment, yung mga bago na forms of punishment, di ba? Or occurring at currently or at present. Next is we have here justifications of punishment. Diba? Bakit ginagawa yung punishment? Why is it being employed yung punishment? Diba? Number one, it is because of retribution. So retribution is a punishment of offender punishment of an offender was carried out in the form of personal vengeance. Ibig sabihin, di ba? It is, di ba, personal sa ikaw mismo. You carried it out because, di ba, you are trying to take revenge personally. Since retaliatory acts result in the infliction of greater injury, the retaliation was later limited to the degree of injury inflicted, giving rise to an eye for an eye philosophy or yung lex talionis. Diba? An eye for an eye or a tooth for a tooth. So, ibig sabihin, if, diba, may pinatay sa inyo, so what's going to happen is that yun din yung magiging punishment, which will be is, diba, personally, kayo mismo yung mag-revenge. Kayo yung gagawa ng sarili nyo punishment. So, that is what we call retribution. Which is yung concept no, yung philosophy ng an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, kung ano yung kinuha, kung buhay yung kinuha, buhay din yung magiging kapalit. Now, we have expiation or atonement. This was in the form of group vengeance, as distinguished from retribution, where punishment is exacted publicly for the purpose of appeasing the social group. So, ibig sabihin yan, class, that it is in the form of a group, yung vengeance, yung paghihiganti. Compared sa retribution, it is personal, ikaw mismo ang maghihiganti. While for expiation or atonement, di ba, it is in the form of group. Di ba? So that you will be able to appease, masatisfy mo yung social group or yung society. Punishing the offender gives the community a sense of its moral superiority, assurance that virtue is regarded after all. So, ibig sabihin, there is a moral superiority you give to the community. Diba? Kasi nga, publicly mo man siya i-conduct yung punishment. Diba? Ng isang person na who has committed a criminal act or wrongdoing. We have deterrence or exemplarity. Punishment gives lesson to the offender by showing to others what would happen to them if they violate the law. So, ibig sabihin, diba, exemplarity, that person will become an example. So, example, let's say for example, diba, there's an individual, a person na nangawat siya or nag-pickpocket or let's say, diba, let's say for example, ano ba bang, let's say for example, was able to commit a crime against people, diba? So, what's going to happen is that they are going to, diba, yung taong nag-commit niyan, they are going to make him or her as an example, diba? So, example, if kayo, magnanakaw kayo, so ito ang mangyayari sa inyo, it could either be puputulan, let's say for example, putulan yung kamay or any body parts, diba? So, that's going to show, or it will show the people na this is what's going to happen if in case you commit this kind of criminal act or this wrongdoing. So that they are not going to commit it again. So let's say, pag nagnakaw, so hindi na sila magnanakaw because they already know what's going to happen to them if gagawin nila yon siya. We have here protection. By placing offenders in prison, society is protected from further criminal depredation of criminals. A justification of punishment came after prisons were fully established. So people believe that by putting the offender in prison, society is protected from his further criminal depredation. So, ibig sabihin, class, diba, people are already being protected against attack or against, diba, any forms of those criminals are going to take revenge to that person, or let's say they will be plunder. Ano ba yan siya, diba? So, that is a form of, or they are going to cause harm or damage to that victim. So, people are already being protected. So, those offenders will be placed or will be put in prison. Next is that we have reformation. For reformation, this is the latest justification of punishment. So, ibig sabihin, pinakabagong justification. Why we conduct punishment, why we have punishment. Society's interest can be best served by helping the prisoner become a law-abiding citizen and productive upon his return to the community by requiring him to undergo an extensive program of rehabilitation. So, ibig sabihin you are going to change the person. You're going to reform the person from a person or an individual na who is doing kanang actions, criminal acts, which is against the law or the norms of the society. Now, you're going to change that person. Diba? You're going to reform that person to become, diba? You're going to change that person to become a law-abiding citizen and will be productive instead of, diba, will cause harm, damage, destruction to any other people. Now, what you're going to do is that you are going to change that person. You are going to reform. Babaguhin mo siya. Diba? So, you're going to improve that person. You're going to make some changes. Diba? So that they will no longer become or behave, diba nga, like a criminal, maging immoral, or whatever, or make some mga destructive na manner. Next, we have class, that is the 5 justifications of punishment: retribution, expiation or atonement, deterrence or exemplarity, protection, and reformation. Now we have, we're going to discuss now the School of Penology. So let's discuss first the classical school. So I know that this has already been discussed during the introduction to criminology in your, when you are still in your first year, diba? So we're just going to review this. So let's start with the classical school. So maintenance of doctrine of psychological hedonism, that the individuals calculates pressure and pains in advance of action and regulates his conduct by the results of his calculation. So when we talk about doctrine of psychological hedonism or hedonism, that is the ethical theory that pleasure, diba, in the sense of the satisfaction of desire, is the highest good and proper aim of human life. Kasi we always aim, diba, we always aim that sense of satisfaction. Diba? Psychological or motivational hedonism claims that human behavior is determined by desires to increase pleasure and to decrease pain. Diba? As tayo, as an individual, we always want pleasure. Our desires will always be to gain pleasure, and we wanted to decrease pain. So that is what we call doctrine of psychological hedonism. Hedonism is also the ethical theory that pleasure, in the sense of satisfaction of desires, is the highest good and proper aim of human life. Psychological or motivational hedonism claims that human behavior is determined by desires to increase pleasure and decrease pain. So among its proponents, class included Beccaria, Rousseau, Montesquieu, and Voltaire. Sila yung mga proponents or yung yung mga nag-advocate nitong sa classical na school. Next is that what are the advantages of the classical school? So it is easy to administer. The judge was only an instrument to apply the law. So it eliminated the arbitrary sentence, so based on random choice or personal whim rather than any reason or system. So ibig sabihin kasi diba, mas madali siyang i-administer kasi nga yung judge dyan is instrument lang. Diba? You're going to apply the law based on or you're going to apply the, let's say for example, the punishment based on what is the corresponding na punishment niya doon or penalty. So yung judge dyan, instrument lang siya para to apply the law kung ano yung whatever is stated in that law. While ito naman, it eliminated the arbitrary sentence, yung based on random choice or personal whim. Diba? So ibig sabihin, it will either be now in a form of a reason or a sentence. So meron siya. Diba? Meron siyang reason or system na fina-follow. So, class, diba? When we talk about arbitrary sentence, just a correction, so ibig sabihin, class, diba, na wala na yun siyang, hindi na siya yung sentence ng isang individual will not be based on random lang na choice or personal lang siya, diba? Based on personal, kung whatever is ang gusto ng isang tao, so yun, or isang, let's say, isang authority or ng, let's say, of a group of people or in a government, for example, kung ano yung gusto nila, hindi yun siya. Diba? They have eliminated that. That is the advantages, one of the advantage of what we call classical school. So now, it will be based on reason or system ang ipa-follow. So the philosophy of the classical school So it holds that the man is a free moral agent and that every act of man is of his free will and accords. Ibig sabihin, di ba, if we commit, di ba, or pero meron tayong ginawa ng mga actions, it is because we have, dahil ginusto natin yan, we have our freedom, di ba? We are, it is based on our free will, di ba? Kusang loob natin yan siyang ginawa. So, di ba, ibig sabihin nun that our, dito, according dito sa classical school, we are acting, our actions, di ba, we are acting based on our own discretion. We are not being forced or constrained, di ba, na gawin yan siya or coerced to do that action. But it is because of our own free will. That every man is therefore responsible for his acts kasi nga ibig sabihin may free will yung person, may free moral siya, a free moral agent, that crime can be expiated only by punishment and that the law, not the judge, should determine the punishment to be attached to the criminal act and should provide a scale of punishments to be applied equally to all persons committing the same crime. Which is why, class, going back to the advantage, diba, instrument lang yung judge to apply the law. Kasi nga, we are following a certain system or reason. Diba? Hindi kaya siya in-eliminate yung personal choice or personal whim mo na ibig sabihin, nag-commit ka ng, let's say, nagnakaw ka or ang isang tao nagnakaw, ang gusto mong gawin sa kanya is ganito. I-banish mo ka agad siya or what? But you are following already a certain law. Based on law na siya. Meron na siya kung ano yung law doon. Let's say, for example, kung ang law about pag nagnakaw is putulan yung, let's say, yung kamay niya, sa paa niya ba, or let's say, fingers, diba? So that is, if other people will commit the same na law, I mean the same na crime, what's going to happen is that they are going to, it will be applied equally to them na puputulan din sila ng kamay. If that is the corresponding na punishment or penalty for that certain criminal act. Yun yung in-explain dito sa classical na school. Next, what are those disadvantages? Number 1, it was unfair. So, it treated all men as mere digits without regard to difference in individual natures and circumstances. So, it was unjust. It made first offenders and recidivists equally punished. It did not individualize punishment. So, ibig sabihin, class, diba, it is being generalized yung punishment niya. And of course, diba, walang difference kung ano. Let's say, kung nagnakaw ka, kung ano yung equivalent niya na punishment or penalty, yun ding mangyayari, yun ding, for example, recidivist, di ba, they committed the same na, let's say, nagnakaw siya, and repeat offender na siya already, di ba, or yun paulit-ulit, or marami na sila na-commit na crimes. So, for those who have just committed that certain crime, for the first time, equal yun siya. Yun yung magiging punishment niya. So, it is unjust, di ba? So, the same lang yung magiging punishment nila. Regardless if first time or hindi, the same pa rin yung mabibigay or mapapataw sa'yo na punishment. It did not individualize punishment. So, hindi siya, kung ikaw isa lang, di ba, it is being generalized. It was the Magna Carta of the professional criminal in that he knew what was coming to him and could calculate the risk. So, ibig sabihin, since there is already a system, di ba, kung ano yung sa law, yun na yun. Di ba, compared to us now, depending on the gravity, diba? At present, meron naman tayong tinatawag na ilang years lang siya kung ganito yung degree or ganito yung circumstances ng criminal ng crime na na-commit niya. But before, in classical school, wala siya. So example, if those people are already professional criminal, diba? They already know how to calculate the risk. So ito lang yung gagawin ko kasi ito lang yung mangyayari sa akin. Diba? It considered only the injury caused, not the state of the mind and nature of the criminal. So, ibig sabihin, kung ano na yung ginawa niya, yun lang yung focus nung dito sa classical school, which is naging disadvantage. And hindi yung ano ba yung ginawa, di ba? How is that person when they committed a crime? Di ba? Ano ba yung nature ng criminal na yon? Repeat offender ba to? Recidivist ba to? Paulit-ulit ba to? Naging professional na ba siya? Or is it a first-time offender? So, it is not being considered in the classical school. So, which made it ito sila na naging disadvantage ng classical school. Now, let's discuss naman, class, the neoclassical school. So, arose at the time of the French Revolution, maintained that while the classical doctrine was correct in general, it should be modified in certain details. Example, since children and lunatics cannot calculate pleasures and pain, they should not be regarded as criminals or be punished, which is different, diba, sa classical school. Kasi everyone is equal. Regardless if, di ba, ano yung state of mind mo, anong nature mo sa criminal, you will be equally punished. But here in neoclassical, there is already what we call exemption. Diba? It is the same here. At present, these are what we call exempting circumstances. Ayun. So now, in this neoclassical, since diba it mentioned their children lunatics, diba yung mga bata pa lang, diba let's say 5 years old, 6 years old, 8 years old, diba there are those na they do not know, they cannot calculate what they are going to gain, diba, and as well as ano ba yung pleasure or pain na mangyayari sa kanila. So what's going to happen is that they are regarded, they should not be regarded daw as criminals or be punished. The same goes with those lunatics, yung mga mental problems. Diba, are they those who are psychologically ill? So what are the result of the neoclassical theory? Exempting circumstances admitted, which is in the present at current, diba? At the present time, we have this what we call exempting circumstances naman. Diba, example, when a certain person committed, diba, a crime that they are not in their lucid in that time, diba, they are not in the lucid interval. Diba, in that time when they committed that, they are wala silang panghuna-huna. Diba? As long as they were able to to justify, or let's say for example, they were able to made sure nga during that time when they committed a certain act, diba, dili sila lucid, diba, dili tarong ilang paghuna-huna. They are, diba, unstable, mentally unstable. Ayun. So, which is why here in the neoclassical theory, exempting circumstances is already admitted. Reduction of punishment for partial freedom of the will, only partial responsibility. So, ibig sabihin, kasi di ba nga, they do not have that free will, complete free will. So, what's going to happen is that their punishment will be reduced, but it's going to be only a partial responsibility that will happen. Dili yun siya ingon na compared to classical, na regardless if lunatics ka or children ka, diba, regardless of your state of mind and nature, so you will receive an equal punishment. Punishment was mitigated for lack of full responsibility kasi nga again, you do not know or you don't know how to calculate, di ba, ano yung magigain mo doon as a form of pleasure, or ano yung if you're going to commit that act, di ba, hindi mo alam ano yung magiging result nun or the pain for it. And next is that it represented the reaction against the severity of the classical theory of equal punishment irrespective of circumstances. Ibig sabihin, di ba, it is a reaction against doon sa tawag nito yung severe na punishment. Di ba, yung equal lang ang punishment regardless of ano yung circumstances, underlying circumstances. Let's say, for example, yung nagnakaw is mentally ill pala, mentally unstable or psychologically ill. So regardless of it, diba, regardless of the circumstance, you will receive an equal punishment, which is, itong neoclassical, that is the reaction. Ito yung parang reaction doon, or ito yung, tawag nito, this is how yung, parang ina-address niya, diba, ina-address nito, ng neoclassical, yung severity, or yung gaano kalala, yung classical theory, in terms of that equal punishment, diba, in terms of, employing punishment na equal pa rin siya even though kahit ano yung circumstance, even though na bata yung nakakommit ng crime or lunatic siya. Another class is that we have the Italian or the positivist school. So denied individual responsibility and reflected as essentially non-punitive reaction to crime and criminality. So since the criminal was held to be not responsible for his acts, so he was not be punished. So the adherents of this school maintain that a crime, as any other act, is a natural phenomenon. So ibig sabihin, class, that, diba, ang crime daw, it is a natural, diba, natural lang siya na mangyari. So now, here are the results of the Italian or positivist school. Emphasis shifted from legal, so metaphysical and juristic abstraction to a scientific of the criminal and the conditions under which he commits the crime. Ano ba yung kondisyon niya? Diba? When that person committed a crime, treatment began to be based from study of the criminal. So now they are already studying the criminals. Diba? Bakit nila na-commit yon? The old purpose of punishment was changed. Kasi nga, diba, as mentioned earlier here, diba, there is what we call, diba, since the criminal was held to be not responsible for his acts, he was not to be punished, but instead, diba, he is going to be rehabilitated. Kaya nga, The old purpose of punishment was changed kasi ano ba yung purpose noon, di ba? It could either be retribution, di ba? So it has been eliminated in the school, the Italian or positivist. Deterrent effect theory modified does not apply to those who could not foresee consequences. So ibig sabihin, di ba, that they do not know what's going to happen to them. Yung hindi nila, they just committed it out of not knowing what is going to be the consequence. Rehabilitation re-emphasized but applied with discrimination to certain classes. So there is already rehabilitation, but still, diba, because of the certain classes, let's say the classes in the society, there is still discrimination. It will not be applied equally. But they are emphasizing, diba, that there should be rehabilitation. They are going to change the criminal or those persons who committed acts. Protection of society is often to be the primary purpose of treatment. So it means that, diba, going back doon sa justification of punishment, that is protection against those criminals, diba, or those who have committed those who have violated the law. Prevention of crime by early treatment of juveniles. So there is already what we call rehabilitation and treatment in this Italian and positivist school. Now, let's move on to the modern clinical school of penology. So it advocates the study of the criminal rather than the crime, which is somehow then, similar to the Italian and positivist. They are, as you can see, emphasis, as you can see here, metaphysical and jurisdictional obstruction to a scientific of the criminal and the conditions under which he commits. And meron dito what we call, diba? So it focuses more since so denied responsibility and reflected as essentially non-punitive reaction to crime and criminality. So diba, it is somehow similar to the Italian or positivist, wherein the focus there is on the criminal rather than the crime. So they are going to study. Class, diba? As you can see, treatment began to be based from study of the criminal. So now, diba, the same here, they are going to focus the study on the criminal rather than the commission of that crime or doon sa crime. The school is interested primarily in the criminal himself in order to determine the conditioning circumstances that explain his criminality. Ano ba yung reason? Ano ba yung mga conditions kung bakit na-commit ng isang person or an individual yung crime na yon? And in order to obtain light upon the problem of how he should be handled by the social group or of the society or the community. Diba, paano ba siya i-handle? Kasi nga, diba, we need to understand what is the root cause, ano ba yung reason, bakit niya na-commit yun, and then we are going to address that so that we will know paano i-address so that people will no longer commit. Di kasi na-address na natin yung reason nila ano yung purpose, ano yung root cause. Advocates the idea that the criminal is the product of his biological inheritance, conditioned in his development by the experience of life, to which he has been exposed from early infancy up to the time of the commission of the crime. So, ibig sabihin, di ba, what they're trying to tell us is that there is a factor. May factor daw yung environment or yung experience niya. For example, kung ikaw nakatira ka naman sa squatter or whatnot, di ba, normally, what you will see if you are being surrounded by people who are committing criminal acts, so normally, it would affect as well, diba? Or possibly, it will affect. It is also a factor. Bakit na-commit yun ng isang individual ang criminal or yung crime na yan? It also suggests adopting the treatment of each individual in accordance with the diagnosis obtained by scientific study of the criminals. Ibig sabihin, by merely studying the criminal, we will be able to adapt. Ano ba yung magiging form of treatment ng isang person if this is the kind of crime that they have committed? Diba? This school entirely repudiates or refuse to accept retribution, expiation, intimidation. So, ibig sabihin, those old forms or those justification, di ba, ng punishment because of personal revenge, vengeance, you're going to atonement, di ba, in a form of a group, di ba, you're going to take revenge in a form of a group, you're going to intimidate or let's say, or shaming the person or humiliating the person. So it gives a new content to the old terms of deterrence, reformation, and protection. Diba? There is already, when we say modern, may bago. Diba? May makabagong paraan. There's a new form or process for us to be able to, diba, address this criminal. Diba? Paano ba siya? Or how we are going to deter, reform, and protect the society. Deter the commission of the crime or let's say, for example, diba, how are we going to avoid that commission, or those people who have committed, paano natin sila ma-avoid to commit again crimes, and how we are going to reform them kasi we're going to develop treatments. Now class, let's move on to the correctional system. So the function of correction serves to rehabilitate and neutralize the deviant behavior of adult criminals and juvenile delinquents. Aside from, di ba, which we have discussed in the previous or in the initial slide, di ba, yung correction is that as the branch, di ba, sila that they are responsible for the custody, so rehabilitation, as well as the supervision of those convicted na criminal. So that is the function. They are going to rehabilitate, neutralize that deviant behavior that's causing those, yung sa mga adult criminals and juvenile delinquents. Now, this component of the criminal justice system faces a three-side task in carrying out the punishment imposed on the convicted offender by the court. Number one, that is to deter, to inflict retribution, and rehabilitate. So those are the three, what we call na component or the three side task na gagawin ng correction. Diba? Next is that the components of the correction effectuate their functions to different programs. So, paano ba natin makikita, di ba? If they are functioning. So, it could either be the effect for that, makikita natin yan siya through probation, commitment to an institution, and the parole. Next is that, what are those early codes? So, history has shown that there are three main legal systems in the world, which has been extended to and adopted by all countries aside from those that produce them. In their chronological order, so these are the three main legal systems. We have the Roman, Mohammedan or Arabic, and the Anglo-American laws. So among the three, the Roman law that has the most lasting and offered the most adequate basic concept, which sharply defined in concise and inconsistent terminology, mature roles, and a complete system, logical and firm, tempered with a high sense of equity. So, ibig sabihin, mas nagtagal yung Roman law, diba? And it has offered adequate siya, enough daw yung basic concept niya in terms of this legal system. So, let's discuss. Number one here, we have itong yung sa early codes, the Babylonian and Sumerian codes. We have Code of King Hammurabi or the Hammurabi Code. So, this is in Babylon, about 1990 BC or before Christ, credited as the oldest code prescribing savage punishment. So, ibig sabihin, when we talk about savage, that is harsh. Diba? Grabe that is fierce, violent, and uncontrolled na punishment. But in fact, Sumerian codes were nearly 100 years older. So, matagal na siya masyado. Then, the first formal law dealing with the concept of justice as lex talionis, so an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So, ibig sabihin, if yung nakuha or yung, diba, if yung na-commit na crime, it resulted to a death. So, yung mangyayari din, yung magiging revenge din or magiging punishment will also be death. So, what is what we call an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. We have the Roman and Greek codes. So, Justinian Code, 6 CAD. So, Emperor Justinian of Rome wrote his code of law. So, siya mismo personally ang gumawa ng law or code of law. So, an effort to match a desirable amount of punishment to all possible crimes. Then, however, the law did not survive due to the fall of the Roman Empire, but left a foundation of the Western legal code. So, this has been the foundation of those in the Western countries ng kanilang legal codes. Diba? Next is that we have the 12 tables or the 12 tabulae in 451 to 450 BC. So, it represented the earliest codification of Roman law incorporated into the Justinian Code. And then, it is the foundation of all public and private law of the Romans until the time of Justinian. So, it is also a collection of legal principles engraved on metal tablets and set up on the forum. So, ibig sabihin, class, itong Roman and Greek codes, this actually serves as the basis for all Roman law and established the idea that all free citizens had a right to the protection of law. Next, we have here the Greek Code of Draco. So, still part of the Roman and Greek codes. So, in Greece, the Code of Draco, it is a harsh code that provides the same punishment for both citizens and the slaves as it incorporates primitive concepts of vengeance, blood feuds, The Greeks were the first society to allow any citizen to prosecute the offender in the name of the injured par. So, ibig sabihin, di ba, they have given that, tawag-ani ka ng power, di ba, to allow a citizen na sila yung prosecute doon sa nakasala sa kanila. Di ba? Because of that injured. Di ba? Para mag-the-same sila or mag-equal sila. Kasi nagkasala ka sa akin, so ako yung what's going to happen, ako yung mag-prosecute sa inyo so that we will be equal, di ba? At par na tayo. So, nakabawi na ako. Ayun. Next class, we have here the Burgundian Code in 500 after death. So, specified punishment according to the social class of offenders, dividing them into nobles, middle class, and lower class, and specifying the value of the life of each person according to social class. So, ibig sabihin, the punishment is based on what class or what status you belong or in what social class you belong in the society. Diba? Kung noble ka ba, middle class ka ba, or lower class. Next, we have here the King Ornamus Code. So, these are also those mga early codes. And the Nicodemus Ethics. So, sa King Ornamus Code, this is the decreed the imposition of restitution and fines. So, na mga yung penalties, may mga fines. So, execution, mutilation, and other savage penalties. So, ibig sabihin yung class, di ba, may fine siya doon, you're going to pay something, and then for restitution, so you're going to restore something that has been lost, for example, stolen, di ba, doon sa nawala. So, then you're going to, merong mga execution, so it's still old forms of punishment that are being used here. It holds the principle that offender can be punished and victims can be paid by making the offender reimburse the value of whatever damages as the result of crime. So, ibig sabihin, you are going to get paid. Di ba? Mababayaran ka. Kung ano yung kinumit na crime doon, whatever the value of it, you will be reimbursed to whatever damages na nakomit sa iyo ng isang person. Nicodemus Ethics, so written in 400 before Christ. So, first publication that explains crime and corrective justice, stating that punishment is a mean of restoring the balance between pleasure and pain. So, ibig sabihin nun, di ba, since there are those, di ba nga, they would commit just for them to be able to satisfy their pleasure without knowing there is an equivalent pain. So, because of that punishment, you will not be able to balance. Di ba, kasi, if they have desires, di ba, to commit, di ba, they have desires for this pleasure, gusto nila yan kunin, magnakaw sila, it's because wala sila, they are being deprived of it, but however, it is being balanced because of this pain. You commit that act, there is an equivalent, di ba, you commit a crime, there is an equivalent pain for that. So, ibig sabihin, balance lang siya, di ba, you're going to get something, and in return, meron ka ding makukuha nun, but it is through a form of pain. Diba? You have received your pleasure, there's a pleasure, but there is also an equivalent pain to it. Next class is the early codes, the Philippine setting. So the Philippines is one of the many countries that came under the influence of the Roman law. History has shown that the Roman Empire reached its greatest extent to most of continental Europe, such as Spain, Portugal, France, and all the Central Europe. Now, eventually, the Spanish Civil Code, diba, before became effective in the Philippines on December 7, 1889. This is the Conquistador and the Código Penal. So the revised penal code that we have today in 1930. So was introduced by the Spaniards, promulgated by the King of Spain. Basically, these laws adopted the Roman law principle, Principles of Roman Law in 1996. And lastly, class, mostly tribal traditions, customs, and practices influenced laws during the pre-Spanish Philippines. So there were also laws that were written, which includes number one, class, diba? I guess you're all familiar. If you can recall the history class that you had in your high school, the Code of Kalanchao, promulgated in 1433, the most extensive and severe law that prescribes harsh punishment. Diba, it is almost similar with those early codes as well in the different countries. Meron silang tinatawag nito na harsh yung binibigay, prescribe, or being given to an offender. And the Maragtas Code by Dato Sumakwil. So this is proof of the advanced civilization of the Visayas. So this is the end class of the slide or the discussion that we have for the introduction of correctional administration for institutional correction. So now